let's talk about the final game on Sunday. If you can pull up that the result for the final day on Sunday.
Yes.
We saw Hoops and Reed lost to Boko City Chief with 1.62-63. Then we saw Nigerian Custom. This was the most important game. They needed a win for them to go ahead because Kano Pillars was ahead of them. Nine was ahead of them. So they need to win that game and have a tie with 9, because they tie. If you check the log, you start they have a number of games with 9. I think it was the same 3. 9 won 3 games out of 7. They lost 4. Nigerian Custom won 3 games. And you know, FIBA rules, the head to head comes first before points. So with that, so they just needed to win. They needed to win that game against Kano Pillars, so that if they come a tie with 9, because 9 was in the 4th position before, if they come tie with 9, they'll go ahead of 9 because they've beaten 9 before. So, and that was what they did. They did the needful. They beat Kano Pillars 70-64. That is with 6 points. They beat Kano Pillars, and that took them up. Then we now saw 9 also lost scandalously to Lagos Legends 63-93. That is over I think over 30 points, assuming my calculations are correct. Then we now saw River Upas, of course, had to do the needful after their defeat against Lagos Legends. They had to do the needful. They did over Kwara Falcons, which were, I think, were no disrespect. Kwara Falcons were the whipping boys in the tournament because they did not win any of their games. And they lost to Upas 83-69. I think they did very well in that last game, to be honest. Then that gives us the final, for which is Lagos Legends finished top, Upas finished second, and Boko City Chiefs finished third. Then we'll have Nigerian Custom. But when you look at these 4 teams now, do you see and with the scare already, because even Boko City Chiefs gave Upas the fight of their life. If you see the scare, they scare Upas won that game because I think maybe home advantage, because they are home and they are more comfortable because of the backing of the fans. You get all those kind of things, also give them the momentum, because at a point in that game they were trailing with 18 points. But what a finish! We saw basketball to the highest level last week. I don't know. Let me have your thought about the final day before we go into details.
Okay, I will say a very good morning to P&B crew. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Abuja. And good morning, Mr. Sunday Abel. I'm happy to be in this show again as usual. I'm so happy. Well, Nigerian basketball has raised the bar for us. And seeing the final 8 over there in Port Harcourt has brought a lot of talk to the fans' mouth. You know, it was an action-packed final 8. It was an action-packed. So many predictions that did not go through. Most especially my prediction. Most especially my prediction. But I will say a very big kudos to MBBF for coming out with this final 8 in Port Harcourt, and also for the teams that participated, for also raising the bar. And I must say a very big congratulations to the Lagos Legends for topping the table for the very first time. For the very first time, for topping the table, and it shows that there are so many things to come at the final 4 coming up in I think next week or thereabouts.
Yes, on the 20th.
On the 20th, right? Okay, fine. Okay. It's the final 4 coming up on the 20th. So I believe there will be more, a lot that will come out in that final 8. And for the likes of Kwara Falcons, the likes of Nile University, the likes of Kano Pillars, so those teams, I will also say kudos to them for even putting up a big fight. In the final 8, but unfortunately it was the end of the road for them. They could not proceed through to the final 4.